Well, Squash, by Bruce Callahan. It's my first alcohol today, believe it or not. I know some of you won't believe it, but that's okay. Tom, it's the truth, man. Anyways, how the heck are you? I tried something different here, so bear with me while I make some adjustments here. Yeah, I didn't want to set up the backdrop on my TV. I just wanted to use the wall here, but I had to move some stuff out of the way because we are a tad on the cluttered side as we're trying to shift some things around here. But anyways, I digress. Let me check this real quick, and you'll have my undivided attention. Get some local music playing in the background if you can hear. It's a band called Jalopy. Brandon Moore and a few other folks. I'm sorry, I don't remember everybody's name. Brandon did at the pub podcast video with me. Probably about a year ago or so now. We kept trying to. I wanted to get back together to do a whiskey video around the holidays, but our schedules never quite synced up. But anyway, they're a great band. I love the elements, especially this song. Most of the stuff, there's certainly elements of some progressive rock, some jazz. You might hear some Steely Dan influence. But this particular song has a little bit of a country vibe as well, along with those jazz and progressive rock elements. I really like this band. Well, it's doing what it was doing to me yesterday for some reason. Getting stuck. It's trying to get stuck on me. Let's try this. Anyways, bear with me. I'll be right back. Try to, for some reason, I'm having to edit the privacy on it, and sometimes I can get it to stay, and sometimes it reverts back. But the last night tonight, it keeps wanting to get stuck. So bear with me. I am technologically challenged, man. I see this where it's showing on my one tablet, it wasn't working, and now it's showing when I looked at the other one, it's working. Anyways, never mind. Let's get to it, shall we? Yeah, since I've been talking for 3 minutes and haven't accomplished a damn thing, I decided to pour myself 3 ounces neat of this Boot Hill Distillery straight wheat whiskey. It's 100 proof. They're out of Kansas. Straight wheat whiskey. Had a light on over here, but it was getting such a glare, I turned it off. Distilled and bottled by Boot Hill Distillery. Get that a chance. Show you that bottle there. Although I bought the bottle in Tulsa, they're out of cans. Anyway, I've got 2 beers already poured for you. I just want to get to it before they both get warm on me. I've got the M80 lager at 6.6% from Banter Brewing. In fact, both beers I had from Banter Brewing. Why'd you open both of them, Tom? Well, I wanted to get pictures before this started. I had to get pictures, man. This is American style rice lager. I affectionately refer to it as a craft malt liquor because it gives you those. It's big, but it doesn't have those sickeningly sweet corn syrup notes that your commercial malt liquors have. But you get that thing good and cold, and it is that perfect beer for this weather we're having. Originally supposed to be a one-off, but it was so popular, he had to bring it back this year. But he did something a little different this year. Is that he also did a craft soda, a craft cherry lime soda that you mix the two, and it's just a beautiful shandy or rattler, depending on well your reference, I guess. Uh, Sweet time. See, now we get now you hear that jazz in there. Definitely hear a little Steely Dan influence, some Boz Skaggs, maybe. Uh, and some friends, Mike and Linda, friends, Mike and Linda gave me some vegetables yesterday. Stopped by where I worked and brought some vegetables in to give away to folks. Some green beans, which I haven't ate yet, but I did snap them and blanch them already, so they're ready to cook. Give me some onions too. There's two small onions, and one of them I cut up this morning and cooked with some fried potatoes. Cooked up some bacon, cut up some bacon, the onion, and cooked them with some fried potatoes. Oh man, it was delicious. And I also got some cabbage ready, so I steamed some cabbage up, some of the outer leaves to do some cabbage roll. I probably won't do those until tomorrow. It's the first thing that came to mind too when I saw that cabbage. Oh man, that makes some great cabbage rolls. Now my wife wants some coleslaw. There's enough cabbage here to do some coleslaw too, but I also want to cut some up. I also want to cook some with some pork. I know old school anyway, but I did want to do some cabbage rolls, or at least a couple for my wife and I. I used to always do some cabbage rolls around St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I do, yeah, the corned beef and do the corned beef and rice instead of the beef or pork and rice. Anyways, I'm not going to do that, but that's kind of what I was thinking. It just reminded me of he always liked to do cabbage rolls. But anyways, I'm going to knock this back here. We'll get on to the next one. Let's pick up this whiskey, shall we? Using my Hard Rock Hotel Casino glass from Tulsa. Picked this up while we were there back in January. Oh man, this whiskey is insane. Beautifully done wheat whiskey. Not a bourbon. It's a wheat whiskey. Want to make that clear. Oh, it is warm. So why did you put it on the rocks, Tom? I don't know. I was kind of feeling neat. I really wasn't feeling cocktail at the moment. I just wanted to drink some whiskey with the beer, especially this old school beer. So beer number two. Beer number two is a classic from Banter Brewing. It is their flagship IPA called Iron Gospel. And this thing is just the beast, man. I love this beer. And I'm not a big hazy IPA guy, although this particular batch doesn't look all that hazy. The flavor profile to me, anyway, especially this batch, sort of feels like an amalgam, somewhere between more towards the hazy side, but it feels like it's got a little West Coast sensibilities to it. Oh, delicious, man. Yeah, that's just good, man. That's really good. You feel those tropical fruit notes, a little bit of citrus, but you also get those botanical. Just they hit the pine in there as well. Pick that whiskey back up. I meant to drink more of that whiskey with the first beer, but I got kind of carried away. That beer goes down easy, man. It's gone before you know it. Uh, I like to play music in the background, but I don't want to get those, those YouTube copyright strikes. So I try to only play music that folks allow me to play. Sometimes I try to get away with some other stuff, but I usually get in trouble for it because I like to have the music. I've always wanted to do these videos like we were sitting in a pub, so I like to have the music in the background. But it just became a hassle. I was getting, my videos partially muted. And I like to play local stuff when I can too. There's a lot of great local bands that I have available to me here. So, uh, oh, kept lunch light here today. We did a kind of a working class salad plate, little kind of a seafood salad with some bay shrimp and some imitation crab, pickled beets right out of the can. So went all working, but with my upbringing, man. And I also made some. Mike and Linda had given us some cucumbers, so I did old school kind of cucumbers and onions. They're slightly different than Mom and Dad used to do. Mom used to just put a gallon of apple cider vinegar. No, she really didn't, but it seemed like a lot because they were always like swimming in vinegar. I like the vinegar, but I use red wine vinegar, and I don't use as much. I want just enough, and just let them sit there for as long as you can, at least an hour, and they'll absorb that flavor. I don't like them swimming in vinegar. But it did bring back those memories of my upbringing with the cucumbers and onions. Do like those cucumbers and onions, man. Something comforting about them. Jason, how are you, man? I'm gonna post your comment there, Jason. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing all right in your neck of the woods. I'm feeling good about myself. I put a rather generous 3 ounce pour there, and I meant to drink it with the first beer, but I just kept talking and drinking. So oh shit, I haven't touched a whiskey yet. Wife and I talked about doing a few things today, but once again we decided we opted for nothing. Just say let's stay home and relax. Don't want to spend any money. Going to have some Shiner tonight. Very nice. That's a classic. My production assistant just came in the back door there. You know, just worried she got on camera. She doesn't like that, man. My protection assistant, my wife, yeah, she's she just went out in the backyard when I started videoing. Anyway, yeah, I like going outside. I like doing the videos out in my backyard or my bar area, but it's like 90 and change today. Wasn't feeling it, man. I said I'd stay in the air conditioning, crank some tunes, and just relax, man. Aromas, flavors aside, one thing I really love about this whiskey is the mouthfeel, the texture, the viscosity. It just feels velvety smooth. It's just a gorgeous whiskey. My lighting was slightly better where I'm sitting here, though. So I cannot read this. I'm going to jump up and turn that light on. I turned that light on earlier, but it was giving me a glare. Yeah, you see that? It's a big glare there, but I thought, well, maybe I could read this better if I turn that light on. Boot Hill Distillery, Dodge City, Kansas. But it's gold lettering on a black background. It's really hard for me to get my bifocals to focus on it. So I'm not going to read it. That's going to take too much effort, man, and I don't like that glare. I'm going to stand back up and turn that off. Anyways, lunch. Meanwhile, Jalopy, I love this band, man. I'm gonna find me another local artist that I'm gonna do a video a little bit later as well. But into the music today. Now that I've got Jalopy playing, I'm feeling the local artist. So support your local, man. I'm not going to any mainstream shows, and I haven't for a while because I don't want to feed the beast. I get it; everybody's making money. I'm okay with that per se, but concert prices have gotten so high with the mainstream acts anyway. With Ticketmaster having a monopoly, and it's just too easy to resell. You used to be able to get on there and buy the tickets before they're all bought up, but almost everything you buy now, unless you get on there immediately, you've got to. It's through a resale that you're going to pay too much for. I remember a time when scalping was illegal, but now it's common practice to scalp. Anyway, they just don't call it scalping anymore, Tom. But it sure as hell is scalping. Gosh darn it. The most mainstream I saw recently is I had to go to this show, man. But it was at a local theater called the Galois. The whole maybe what 1,500, 2,000 maybe. It's not a big theater. But they were playing right on my birthday, and I had the ability to get good seats and a meet and greet package, so I did. And there was Saxon and Uriah Heep, and man, that show was just brilliant, man. It was a lot of fun. But typically, I try to see bands. I try to see local bands, but I try to see other touring acts coming through town. I tend to see a lot of blues acts or blues rock acts because that's what plays through here. And I'll support them at the smaller, showcase clubs. Actually, most of them play the showcase clubs in town. There's not a lot of showcase clubs left. 2020 really played hell on showcase clubs. And the music industry now, anyway, the way it's set up, really isn't designed for showcase clubs anymore like it was when I was a kid. You had to work your way up through the clubs, but you don't necessarily have to anymore. I'm not even sure it's beneficial anymore, to be honest with you, the way the music industry is set up today. Especially with these ridiculous music, these contest television programs like American Idol, The Voice. I mean, these shows are just so fucking ridiculous. You think you're getting the best talent? No, you're not. They're showing you what they feel is marketable talent, but you're not seeing the best. The best is probably playing your local showcase club right now, but you're not paying the 10, 15, 20 bucks to go see them. Don't get me started, man. I get wound up when I start talking about music. I was a big music kid. I was really into it, which is a great time to have grown up in Southern California in the 80s when all that was going on. Hey, Rod, how are you, my friend? I saw a lot of big bands in the 80s when they were just showcase acts. It was just a great time to be a music geek. But showcase clubs are dying because people won't support them. You're not seeing garage bands like you used to anyway. You're seeing folks that want to make music in a controlled environment and send tapes off to their, some various television producer in hopes of getting on TV. Rather than, you used to have to work your way up, right? It wasn't an official, A, double A, and triple A like baseball, but it kind of worked that way, right? You had certain clubs you started at. That was your A league. And you had to work for the double A clubs and the triple A clubs, and then you get to the big leagues. And that's when this system worked. Well, sort of worked. Worked better than what system we have in play now, where they pander to mediocrity. Anyway, I, they want everybody to sound the same. They got this cookie cutter talent. You think an artist like a Bob Dylan could get signed today? No, nobody wants to hear music like that. Nobody wants to hear intelligent lyrics. They want to hear the same six lyrics repeated over and over again. Do you think an Elton John could get signed today? A Billy Joel? No, no way in hell. Other rock acts of my day, Humble Pie wouldn't get a record deal today. They want this cookie cutter 3.5 minute song mentality. Anyway, so don't get me started. I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist. You already started that. Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, prayer wisdom, man. I'm also Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist. Ah, beautiful. Prolific beer drinker, purveyor wisdom, man. All around good guys. Sludge. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in.